I've spent $350 million on meta ads that have driven over $1.8 billion in revenue for e-commerce brands. So when I tell you I'm going to show you the exact campaign structure I use, the same structure I use to help build a 10-figure brand, I need you to understand this isn't theory. This is what's actually running in my top spending ad accounts right now, where I'm spending millions of dollars a month profitably. So if you're an e-com brand owner and meta ads just feels like a casino to you, where you roll the dice and don't really know what's going to happen, you have no plan, no strategy, then this video is for you. So stick around, because by the end of this, you're gonna know exactly what to do to get past your revenue ceilings and understand how to scale profitably. Let's dive in. Campaign number one is the testing campaign. This is the bedrock of your ad account. You don't want to be the guy who launches a campaign, spends $1,000 and nothing hits. And the only way you can avoid that, which is what I've learned from scaling my brand to 7 figures and my clients' brands to 8 and 9 figures, is by building a system specifically for testing what actually works. But the problem is most brands either test too fast or they test too slow. Kill an ad too early and you miss potential winners before they had a chance to prove themselves. Keep a losing ad too long and you bleed budget that should be going to what's actually working. No clear criteria for what winning even means, so you're just guessing every single time. This is why I see brands stuck at 10, 20K, 30K a month just spinning their wheels, not because their creatives are bad, but because they have no testing system and no testing discipline. So here's how I run my testing campaigns. Let's dive into a real ad account. All right, so we're in one of my clients' accounts right now, and you'll see last month we spent 300K on our testing campaign. And so the testing campaign, it's super simple. Every ad set is a test. I typically start budgets at $50 max. For smaller brands, it can go as $25. Here are the rules. They're super simple. You spend at least 2 to 3x your CPA goal on ads before making a decision. If an ad is at your goal, you keep it running. If it's off the rails, above your CPA goal or below your ROAS goal, then you're going to pause it out. If it's on the borderline, you'll typically let it run a little bit longer. But what really makes a winning ad is 3 purchases at your CPA goal or ROAS goal over a 7-day duration. Like I said, minimum 3 purchases running for at least 7 days. That's typically what I call a winner. And the coolest thing about testing campaign is that you also scale in here. So you'll see some of these ad sets, we're spending, I think I have an ad set in here spending like $2,000 a day somewhere in here. Yeah, right here, $2,000 a day. But as you can see, this started at a $50 ad set and now we're spending $2K a day on it. So the name testing campaign is a little confusing because it's also a testing and a scaling campaign. So we're not only going to test in here, we're also going to scale in here once we find winners, and you can scale to crazy heights inside your testing campaign. As you can see here, we've spent 4K, generate 12K. Our ROAS goes to 2 in this account. So again, lots of spend there, and you can do this as well. And to start from the top, this is a ABO campaign. So ad set budgets, each ad set is a test, like I mentioned. And again, starting at $25 to $50 a day, spend 2 to 3 extra CPA goal before making a decision. And again, you can scale very hard inside the testing campaigns. I am an ABO maximalist, meaning I prefer ABOs, but there is some people like to do testing campaigns as a CBO. I don't really recommend it for new brands unless you have a ton of ads and not a lot of budget to work with. So you're able to launch a bunch of ads in separate ad sets, and then you kind of let the campaign budget decide where to allocate the budget amongst all those ads. This allows you to test a lot of ads at once with the small budget, and lets kind of Meta's AI do its thing. I, however, like to run really controlled tests where we're trying to get real specific answers on if an ad's a winner, if an ad's a loser. With the CBO, with a low budget and a ton of ads, a lot of ads are just not going to get any spend. So you're going to be left with a lot of unanswered questions. So in the beginning, we're trying to learn what works, what doesn't work, right? We're trying to know what concepts work, what angles work, right? So if you're launching a bunch of ads or launching ads and not knowing what works and doesn't work because only one ad's getting spend, you're not learning a lot, right? So, but again, it is a strategy some people use when they have really low budgets and a lot of ads. So it's something you can use. It's not my official recommendation. I like ABO. Again, this is what I use in all my accounts, my own brand, this brand right here that's spending millions of dollars a month on ads, right? So to each their own, but again, my official recommendation is ABO. There is edge cases for CBO. So now you have the testing campaign going. You found your winners. This is the next step I use to take brands to 7, 8, and 9 figures a month. and how you can turn your winning creatives into a money machine that works for you, and how can you maximize your winning creatives. Here's the thing most brand owners never figure out. You could have winning ads and still not scale. The reason why has nothing to do with your creative, it just has to do with the way you're functioning, the way you're building out your ad account. It happens time and time again. I go into ad accounts and I see winning ads dead, barely even spent on, and it's really just because they weren't put in the right places, right? So again, you can scale inside your testing campaign, but we're also going to take these winning ads, drop them into our core campaign, which is our Advantage Plus winners campaign. Here's why this matters and what most people miss. Without a dedicated scaling campaign, you're really limiting how big your winning ads can get, because inside the testing campaign, they're really just fragments in there, very segmented. But inside the scaling campaign, you're mixing winners with all the other winners, and you're leveraging Meta's AI and letting Meta choose between all those ads within that ad set. And this is really the beauty of Meta Ads algorithm, how you get it to work in your favor the most, and you can just scale this campaign to very high limits because you have so many winning ads in this campaign. This is going to be concentrated ad spend, again, volume of ad spend against with a volume of winning ads. This is just exactly what the algorithm needs to cook. All right, so here's how you set up this campaign. It's an Advantage Plus winners campaign. So what it is a one ad set CBO campaign, and this is how you have Advantage Plus turned on. You have to have the campaign, you have to have the budget at the campaign level, so it's a CBO, and you have all the Advantage Plus settings on. So this is going to be your Advantage Plus winners campaign. As you'll see here, this is a single ad set CBO campaign, and we have all the winning ads in here. And again, you're letting Meta decide where to spend. So again, it really only spent on 2 ads in this bunch. All these other ads are winners, but again, you're trusting Meta's AI with this. You're giving the reins over to Meta. The testing campaign, you still have control to scale your individual winning ads. That's why it's the best of both worlds, having the testing campaign and also having the Advantage Plus winners campaign, because you're leveraging Meta's AI in the winners campaign, and you're also leveraging your own ability to scale with the ABO and the testing campaign. And if you want to actually build this for your own brand, hit the link in the description to check out my mentorship. There's a video there where I explain the whole program, and I help you build out these exact campaigns, systems I use to scale predictably and profitably as possible. Check out all the case studies too. We have like 10 to 15 case studies on that page as well. We've scaled so many brands using this exact same system I'm showing you right here. Now let's get back to the next campaign, which was an interest winners campaign. This campaign mirrors the core campaign number 1, the Advantage Plus winners campaign. However, this one is an interest campaign. We are using interest and throwing winning ads in the interest campaign. So think of it like this: broad is the open ocean. You're letting Meta scour the whole ocean. The interest targeting, we are going to pick specific seas, like the Mediterranean Sea or the Red Sea, right? This is a specific part of the ocean, right? We're essentially zoning off, hey Meta, you're only allowed to dive into this part of the ocean, and this is what an interest audience really is. And you're really going after in-market people, because people come in and out of markets, and so this interest audience is basically telling Meta, hey, stay inside this sea of people who are in market right now. I don't want you to go searching throughout the rest of the ocean. Just search right here. And again, it is a fallacy. It is a not true that interest audiences don't work. I'm going to show you I scale the shit out of interest audiences with some of my 8 and 9 figure brands. And the reason why I don't recommend relying on broad alone is because, again, you're just giving Meta one jump off point. The creative, helps it jump off to different points into the ocean, but we want to, again, just section off different parts of the ocean and really have some control over where Meta is actually jumping into. And one thing I learned at Ruggable, which I scaled to $500 million year 3 years in a row, we actually tested extensively into interest audiences, and they are incremental, meaning you get conversions that would not have happened if you did not run these audiences, right? So it's very incremental versus broad. It was proven you are jumping into net new audience pools. So I'm going to dive back into one of my biggest spending ad accounts and just showing you how many interests we're actually running. It's quite a bit. So we're going to go into the interest campaign right here, and you'll see we actually have a lot of interest running. Currently, we only have 4 running, but we've spent quite a bit across these. And again, the reason we do this is because of the incremental nature of this. You're able to, again, hit people you would have not have hit if you were just running broad. Again, we're running our winning ads on broad in our broad winners campaign. Those same exact ads we're also running inside these interest campaigns, right? And again, these are all different interests, and all the same ads are running in all of these. Again, we're telling Meta, hey, jump into this seed, jump into this seed, jump into this seed. And again, this allows us to maximize our winning ads to the 10th degree, right? Just so you know I'm not lying, we'll dive in here. I'll show you what we have going on. We went very specific on these, 18 to 45, and then we have interest right here. We're running multiple interests. Typically for smaller brands, you probably are gonna have one main interest, which again, I can help you find and build that main interest inside my mentorship, Meta Ads at Scale. So if you want me to build out a specific interest for your brand, which I do for all the brands inside the program, and we have a insanely high hit rate on these, again, hit the link in the bio, watch the video, check out the case studies, book a call, and I promise you, you will not regret it. I will build you the most badass interest audience in the game. So now that we've gone over the testing campaign, we've gone over the Advantage Plus winners campaign, we've gone over the interest winners campaign, let's dive into our retargeting audience. This is going to be the next core campaign that I recommend. For people who have already visited your site, seen your brand on Instagram, seen your ads, engaged with it maybe, these are warm users and we want to retarget them specifically. Most brands who haven't hit their first 100K month yet, they're not even retargeting. There's so many people on the fence that you guys just aren't converting, aren't pushing over the finish line. Retargeting campaigns are the best way to do this. And by implementing this evergreen retargeting campaign, this can fix that super simply. So let's dive in. So here is the retargeting evergreen campaign. It is a CBO. I like CBO. And depending on your setup, again, I customize this for my agency clients, for my own brand, and for brands in my mentorship. So it will depend depending on your brand, but this is the typical setup that I use, or something very similar to this. So we have our all customers ad set. So yes, I do like to retarget customers. You have your never purchased, which is your email list, anyone in your email list who has never bought. Website visitors 180 days, and then BOF, which is bottom of the funnel. I'll show you a version of what BOF means in here. So we have search 180, initiate checkout 180, add to cart 180, view content, product viewers from the last 7 days, IG engagers the last 7 days, Facebook engagers the last 7 days, right? So that's kind of really what I consider bottom of the funnel. And so yeah, this is the 4 ad sets I typically use, and it gets people over the finish line. And again, your purchase ROAS on your retargeting should typically be double, even triple that of your prospecting campaigns. That's how you know your retargeting is actually working. So make sure your retargeting has that nice ROAS, or you've just built it wrong and you need my help. And one of my biggest hacks is when winning ads die on prospecting, if it makes sense, the messaging makes sense as bottom of the funnel, I will throw them into retargeting. And that's how a lot of my retargeting bangers work. I just take old winning ads, throw them into retargeting, and they can crush. You can make, specific retargeting ads if you want, review ads, just super simple ads, mentioning that, objection handling if you want. But I typically just like to take winning prospecting ads from your testing campaign, right? Your Advantage Plus winners, your interest, the ads that you dropped in there. Once they fatigue, then you launch your retargeting campaign and throw those winning ads, proven winning ads in there that make sense for your bottom of the funnel. It makes you super resourceful, so you're not having to make brand net new ads for retargeting. You're just utilizing your past winning ads, which are already proven, right? They're already proven ads. You're just throwing them into retargeting now. The next campaign, if you're a multi-product brand, this is for you, but having the next campaign, last campaign, core campaign really to get you past that 100K a month mark is your retargeting dynamic product ads campaign. And so this is really basically the exact same setup as your retargeting evergreen. So essentially this would be the exact same campaign here, except it would be a DPA. So all the ads in here would be DPA, just the exact same audiences. So it'd basically be a clone of this retargeting evergreen campaign. Just throw DPA dynamic product ads in there and run it as targeting. It'll be good. So you just saw the exact campaign structure I've used to scale brands to 7, 8, and 9 figures. And this is the same structure that you can use these 5 campaigns to hit your first 100K plus month. But again, if you don't want to do this alone and you want my help in this, I can install these exact campaigns into your ad accounts in my mentorship, Meta Ads at Scale. Again, I've done this for brands at every level. It works for brands at 5, 10K, 50, even 50K a month. Again, I use these same systems, these same campaigns at brands that are doing 8 and 9 figures a year as well. So again, this works at all levels of spend. I can teach you how to do it at your level of spend, right? It does operate a little differently when you're a smaller brand, but that is what I specialize in. I help brands go from 0 to 1. It's one of my favorite things to do. So again, hit the link in the bio in the description if you want to check out my mentorship. And if not, I'll see you in the next video.